Hi, this is Terry. Welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. By the time you watch this, it will be 2024. And if you're like me, you're probably wondering what the heck happened to 2023. I try to look back on the year to look at the highlights, what I accomplished, what I wanted to accomplish, and I didn't, what went well, what didn't go well. And this year, I thought I'd go ahead and share some of those in a video. And I also wrote them up in a blog post, and I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the show description. This year, the highlights were amazing. As I went through the 3 planners that I captured my weekly highlights in for the year, I was reminded of all of the travel that I did, all of the travel blog posts and Instagram posts, the Piloting Your Life in-flight newsletters, the solutions to projects, my consulting company, blog posts, the presentations that I did, both paid and unpaid, my unsuccessful pivot with my consulting from system selection and project management and day-to-day consulting within life sciences on the technology side, into try to partnering with other consulting companies. That was unsuccessful after spending a number of months and hours reviewing contracts. That really didn't lead to much of anything. But I discovered a new opportunity to swirl together my IT consulting, my interest in compliance within the life sciences space, my investing and startup advisory all together into a consulting offering for life sciences companies who are interested in expanding into the US market. Actually, I expect to see more of that in 2024, which will tie in my love for travel and my desire to do more with data and technology within the life sciences space. I think there's a real opportunity there in 2024, which I'm really excited about. I also kicked off a new research project around midlife women, aging, body image, self-esteem, social expectations, and the patriarchy. And as I was doing research for a new Stanford Continuing Education course on navigating life after 40 for women, I realized that I can combine these two together, and it really sets itself up well for piloting your life to the next adventure. I also dipped my toes into travel journalism, which I've now added to my LinkedIn profile because of all the travel that I do and my desire to share what I learn to make it easier for other people to venture out. I discovered travel journalism, and I think there might be a way to actually make a living out of that, which I'm pretty excited about. In 2023, I wrote off my biggest investment in a startup, my single biggest direct investment. And then I wrote a blog post on why I quit angel investing, and I quit angel investing. And then about 6 months later, I wrote my biggest check to date into Zoom. That's Z-U-M, not Z-O-O-M. And it was a company that I first invested in January 2016, and I'm hoping that this is the one that's going to hit it big. But maybe I haven't completely quit angel investing, but I have really changed how I am looking at startups to invest in, and I'm really looking at it with a much more critical eye. I also played a lot of tennis in 2023, and I played enough and played well enough that I managed to get bumped back up to a USTA 4.0 rating. Thank goodness. I got dropped down a couple years ago and finally got moved back up so I can play at a higher level of tennis. At the same time, I probably played too much tennis because I had an elbow issue, I had some knee issues, but I'm kind of taking care of those with some other health-related positive activities in 2023, which I will continue into 2024. As I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do moving forward from a revenue generation perspective for the family, I applied for 5 jobs. I heard back from one of the companies, actually went through 2 rounds of interviews, and ultimately they decided I wasn't a good candidate. And then I decided I really don't want a job. I'm very happy consulting. I'm much better consulting. I like the flexibility with consulting, which will tie into more of what I want in 2024 and beyond. On a personal note, I made 2 really good new friends who I Zoom with on almost a weekly basis, if not more frequently. And I rekindled a couple of other relationships that had kind of, I don't know, dissipated over the last couple of years, and they've now resurfaced, which I've really enjoyed. I also continue to invest in my relationship with my husband since we rebooted our relationship about 2 years ago, and we'll see more of that in 2024 as well. I studied 3 different languages this year in preparation for various travels. Italian, which I just started this past year, French, which I've been working on since I think the 8th grade, and then also Spanish, which I've been working on for just as long. And I will continue to work on these languages in preparation for future travels, not only in 2024, but in years beyond. We celebrated our first Christmas without our son Adam, who celebrated with his girlfriend in Denver, and that was quite a big shift, but we did get to see him over Thanksgiving. And we turned our almost 2-year-old dog, he's not a puppy anymore, good boy George, into a cuddly boy. A lot more things happened in 2023, both good and bad. It was not an easy year despite a lot of high points, including a 3-week trip to Europe to celebrate my son Adam's graduation from college. The graduation we did not really accept until we saw the diploma arrive in the mail. Felt like it was a little bit touch and go, but he made it. He moved to Denver with his girlfriend, so we supported that, which was both a highlight and a little bit of a low light. It was not an easy year. I felt like there was a lot to navigate in supporting our kids. Our youngest had a really good first half of the year and then a really sucky second half of the year. So hopefully in 2024 that will balance out a little bit, because emotionally that was a lot. And then the pivot with my consulting and the attempt to find a job and figure out what's next from a revenue perspective, that's been very disconcerting this year, but I see various different opportunities to make it so that maybe I don't have to be as concerned. As for what's going to come up in 2024, what I want to come up in 2024, I want to finish the Midlife Women body image research project and the research not only for the Stanford Continuing Education class, but also for book number 2, Piloting Your Life, The Next Adventure. I also want to partner with a publisher this time. I don't feel like I need as much control as I did on the first one. I want to expand my consulting with more startups outside the US and in the life sciences space and help them navigate the market in the US, and lots more travel. With the travel, I am looking to really expand the travel journalism and look for a way to monetize it in terms of the blog posts, the Instagram posts, the Google reviews, and video. So I will be expanding into video and travel guides in a way to, maybe it's affiliate marketing, maybe it's sponsorships, but looking to really target the midlife traveler to really inspire, encourage, and make it easier for those who might have a tougher time going to places that they've never been before, or exploring places that are off the beaten path a little bit. Personally, we'll continue to streamline our life in order to make it so that we can live a more nomadic lifestyle, finding a way to take George with us when we do travel, continuing to learn and follow my passions and look for ways to either turn that into consulting opportunities or just continue to use my brain. Talked about continuing the languages. I did try to pick up Portuguese because I thought we were going to go to Portugal, but I think I'll limit it to Italian, French, and Spanish for right now. I'd like to be fluent with one of those, but it's going to take a bit in order to do that. And as I'm learning, I want to continue to share with others. That seems to be one of my superpowers, and continue to find ways to blog, do videos, and continue to share what it is that I learn. Another absolute requirement for 2024 is to continue the women's advocacy, leveling the playing field, and finding ways to protect and promote our democracy. And that could be supporting candidates in the 2024 elections to make sure that we are electing people who are supporting women and supporting those that have not previously been appropriately supported in our country. Of course, we'll continue to support our kids and continue to invest in relationships. As I talked about in Piloting Your Life, midlife is the best time to develop and build those relationships that are going to support us in the next part of our lives. So I will continue to be intentional about that, and my husband and I will continue to be intentional about developing couple relationships as well. And finally, I need to get back up in the air. It's been 1.5 years since I've been flying, and I miss it. It's one of the most challenging things that I've ever done, and it's also one of the most rewarding. And I find when I'm stuck on the ground that getting above it all really helps me get above it all. And I really miss flying in helicopters. So that's going to be a 2024 intention as well. With all of that, it is bound to be, I don't think crazy. I'd like it to be really fun. My word for 2024 is going to be curiosity. Every year I come up with a word. 2023, I don't remember what it is. Hopefully by recording it and writing it down, that I will remember the word curiosity for 2024. I expect a lot more change. I'm still in a transition mode, as a lot of us are in our 50s and midlife. And I'm hoping to look at opportunities, look at the learnings, the experiences with a curious and open mind, and then see what else presents itself as I'm, exploring, researching, and figuring out what's next. What about you? Do you do any sort of year-end reflection? What were some of your highlights? And do you do any sort of intentions or goals for the future, for the next year? I'd love to hear about those too. So go ahead, drop me a line at pilotingyourlife@gmail.com. And I'd love to hear about what you're up to, what you're excited about. If things didn't go great in 2023, I hope they go much better for you in 2024, and you're kicking off the year however you wish. We do it pretty quiet. We're not big New Year's celebrators. So here's my glass of champagne. I had a glass of champagne earlier. So cheers to you, to a happy, prosperous, healthy, fun, and safe 2024. And with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm trying to release 2 videos a week. That's one of my commitments to myself and to you, my viewer. And because I'm going to have to let go of perfection in order to do this. So for you, my friends, let go of perfection, take some risks, and above all else, have some fun.